And good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is time for 4th of July El Dorado Bronco baseball here on YouTube. Kurt Caden with you. We've got the whole gang ready for Bronco baseball on a beautiful Wednesday night here in El Dorado. The Broncos looking to rebound after a 6-2 loss last night to Derby, take on the Oklahoma City Indians, a game that counts on the overall record but is not a league game. The batting order for Oklahoma City, Ryan Harrell leads off. Jared Birch will bat second. And batting third is Jarrett Anton. Seth Delgado fourth, Ashton Francis fifth, and Mark Peterson sixth. AJ Inatsuga will bat seventh. Jake Vernon eighth, and Drew Wright will bat ninth. For El Dorado out in the field today, it's an Alma College outfield. Jordan Anstandig is in left field, Pete Carvala in center field, and Jarrett Coyne is in right field. John Sorensen at third, Caleb Littlejim at short. At second base tonight is Tanner Sheets. Maddox Solomon over at first base. Aaron Mack is behind the dish for El Dorado, and the starting pitcher for the Broncos is Avery Reedmiller. First... Never three. Gary's seen a lot of Bronco games, never seen an outfield filled with people from the same college. And we've got that tonight, an Alma College outfield. I noticed Michelle Coyne taking a picture of the Broncos outfield as they were standing for the national anthem. That's going to be a cool picture, I think, for the Alma College folks and for the Coins and the Anstandigs and the Carvalas. All of them, the parents are here. They're all sitting together right underneath the public address box here. So great to have our friends from Michigan down here in sunny El Dorado. Here's a ball hit up the middle, and that's going to be a seeing eye single for Ryan Harrell. A little better than last night. You might remember the first pitch was a leadoff triple that Austin Toth ended up running into the wall and was slowed for a little bit, but stayed in the game. Here is Jared Birch. We'll get you the temperature here in a second. Good lead over at first for Harrell. He's not going, and Reedmiller's in there for strike one. So our first pitch temperature tonight, 89 degrees. It feels like a balmy 97. The dew point's at 72. And the humidity at 57%. Winds are out of the south at around 9-10 miles an hour. The 0-1 from Reedmiller, and that one's golfed into left center field. That will split the outfielders. Harrell's around second on his way to third. He is going to score. It'll be an RBI double for Jared Birch. And Oklahoma City has come into this 4th of July night swinging the bats. 2 hits and a quick run. So that brings up Jarrett Anton. First pitch from Reedmiller in there for strike one. Avery Reedmiller, 6'2", 175, out of Wichita, goes to Newman University in Wichita. And the 0-1 pitch to Anton is off the end of the bat, foul. Reedmiller has been pretty solid for El Dorado this summer. 13 innings of work, a 2.08 ERA. He comes in with a 2-win, 1-loss record. And the pitch, and that one's battered out into right field. That is going to go over the wall. A line drive home run, and the first 3 have reached, and it's 3-0 Oklahoma City. A no-doubter by Anton. Single, double, home run for the first 3 batters for Oklahoma City. Batters hitting just .245 this summer against Avery Reedmiller, but they're 3 for 3 here tonight. So not the start Avery or the Broncos were looking for here against Oklahoma City. And the first pitch to Delgado is low, ball one. Three runs and three hits so far for OKC. Reed Miller, a quick worker, and this one's popped out into left field. Anstandig going back now will come in just shy of the track, and that's the first out. And one away, and that'll bring up Ashton Francis. Always fun here on the 4th of July, and one of the reasons why it's so fun is it traditionally is the best attended game of the season. And it is fun to see folks in the stands here. This El Dorado team has been playing good baseball. They've been hoping for a little better attendance at games. We've had some thin outings at times, but this is a good team. I know they'll lose last night and not a good start here tonight, but this is a team that won 6 in a row and 9 of 11. And they're right in the mix for a chance to go to the NBC World Series. No balls and a strike here to Francis. And here's a fly ball out into center field. Carvalho gets under it, and he's got the second out of the inning. So 2 away. And that'll bring up Mark Peterson. Gary can find stats on them about anything, but Oklahoma City did not provide us. They don't have any stats. There's really no website. So we don't have any numbers. When we were lucky to get the first names. Ground ball over to third. Sorensen cuts in front of Little Jim. Over to first. And after a noisy first 3 batters, Reed Miller settles down and gets the next 3. 3 runs on 3 hits. We head to the bottom of the first inning. It's Oklahoma City 3, El Dorado 0. It's great to have you tuned in tonight. This is Bronco Baseball on YouTube. Let's take a look at the batting order for El Dorado and the defense for Oklahoma City here tonight. The order for the Broncos, it'll be Little Jim, Maddox Solomon, and Tanner Sheets, Brady Sargent, John Sorensen, Jarrett Coyne, Aaron Mack, Pete Carvalho, and Jordan Anstandig. That's the batting order tonight for El Dorado. And for Oklahoma City, they've got Jared Birch in left field, Ashton Francis in center field, and A.J. Inatsuga in right field. Around the infield for OKC, Mark Peterson's over at third. Drew Wright is the shortstop. Jarrett Anton, the second baseman. Seth Delgado is at first base. Jake Vernon is catching tonight, and pitching for Oklahoma City, Andrew Reitmeyer. So we have Reitmeyer against Reed Miller tonight on the pitching battle. That's right. Yeah, Aaron Mack is a Newman University guy. So the battery tonight for El Dorado is the same college. The outfield is the same. We got off to I'm not sure why. We got off to a little bit of a late start. Hey there, the Sargents are tuned in from Island Park, Idaho. Something about that name, Island Park, Idaho, sounds pretty darn nice when we talk about heat indexes near 100 degrees here. I'm guessing it's not that hot in Idaho. Little Jim, and excuse me, swing, strike 1. So, Jen Sargent, nice to have you. Wish you were here. Hope everything looks okay on your screen there. Again, same as last night. My My picture is not great. Little Jim looks up and in, and it's ball one, strike one. Trying to get my camera so we can. Most of the actions at first, I can't get all of first and third generally in your picture, but there's always a lot more action, obviously, at first base. So I want to make sure the base is there, and so it looks like. Well, I may even move that over a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, you can for sure see first base. Hopefully your picture is good. And little Jim looks at a curveball in the turf. So 68 degrees at the Idaho-Montana border. We would take 68, Gary. I'm afraid there's just puddles of Gary and I at the end of the night here. Swing and a foul tip. Little Jim will stay up there. The catcher, Vernon, unable to hang on to that one. You know, our accommodations here are really nice at McDonald Stadium. And normally we could have the windows closed and air conditioning going on. It'd be really comfortable, but the video is not great looking through the glass. So we get to open up the windows and let the heat on in. Fastball right down Main Street for strike three. So the first out for El Dorado, and that'll bring up Maddox Solomon. Nice to meet Maddox's mom here tonight, and I see Mark Solomon. Mark Solomon, I don't know, for some reason the messages are being retracted. Are you being naughty? I don't think Mark's being naughty out there. Maddox, and that was not a great swing. He was fooled, strike one. Maddox Solomon from San Antonio, Cisco Junior College, 6'3", 235. He comes in with a 293 batting average and a high fastball, 1-1. Maddox Solomon leads the Broncos in RBIs. He has checked that. No, let's see. He does, doesn't he? Yeah, 24. Here's the 1-1. That's low and in, 2-1. And Maddox went on a home run binge over the weekend in Great Bend, and he leads the team with 6. 6 home runs. Brady Sargent, Connor Allen each have 4. Here's the pitch, and fouled off. So 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Maddox Solomon. Last night, Maddox went 1 for 4 in the 6-2 loss to the Derby Twins. The pitch, slow curve, hit right at the shortstop and gloved over there by Wright, over to first, and Solomon's retired. And that'll bring up Tanner Sheets. So Tanner Sheets comes up there for El Dorado. He has been swinging a pretty lethal bat lately, hitting a lot of balls hard. 3 of the 4 balls he hit last night were really well struck. He just got under 1. Looks at strike 1. No balls and a strike here to Sheets. The pitch, curveball, swing and a miss, strike 2. Oklahoma City scored 3. Their first 3 batters scored in the top half of this inning. The first 2 for El Dorado have gone down. Sheets trying to get something going here with 2 away, bottom of the first inning in front of a large crowd here at McDonald Stadium. The 0-2 to Sheets, and check swing, 1-2. Reitmeyer pitching for Oklahoma City. Again, I have no numbers on the opposition tonight or tomorrow night, I doubt. We won't get any emergency stats, I dare say. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Great inning for Reitmeyer. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the second inning. Our score, OKC 3, El Dorado 0. Well, I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not. A little tomfoolery on the Oklahoma City manager. He was down at third base. The umpire said, "Come on down here." Someone stuck a styrofoam cup to his back. And so the umpire pulled it off there, was laughing, and the manager had a snarl as he looked into the dugout at I wonder who the guilty party might have been. I mean, it didn't say kick me or anything. Curveball, and that one's laced way foul by A.J. Inatziga, leading off here in the second inning. Oklahoma City leading 3-0. Again, I mean, you want to win every game out. This is not a league game, but El Dorado will still come out here. They're looking for wins. You don't want to start losing momentum, and last night was a bit of a struggle, so I'm sure Toby Reuter would like to see the team kind of get back to doing what they were doing in their winning streak. Last night, 0 for 11 with runners in scoring position. It is hard to win any game when you go 0 for 11 with RISP. Umpire hesitated for a moment there, then called ball 2. I thought he was about ready to ring up Inatziga. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Despite Reed Miller's tough first inning, he only threw 13 pitches, and there's a swing and a miss by Inatziga. So Avery gets it back dialed in. 1 away, and that'll bring up Jake Vernon. Vernon catching tonight for Oklahoma City. Curveball had a beauty in there for strike 1. Same 2 teams here tomorrow night. 2 7-inning games. It'll be a doubleheader. Our broadcast will start at 6 o'clock. Swing and a miss, strike 2. We're in a long stretch of home games, starting off with Derby last night, then 3 here with OKC. And then it'll end with OKC. They come back here July 13, 14, and 15. And strike 3. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to Vernon. 2 down. And that'll bring up Drew Wright, the shortstop. Oklahoma City was in our league last year, but I don't know if it was money issues, player issues, what, but player issues at the end of the year. And OKC couldn't fulfill the schedule or, complete the schedule. Nice ball right down the third base line. That will be a single for sure. Quickly over there is Anstandig, and he will keep right to a single. That is really well done by Anstandig. That looked like a for sure double. And that'll bring up the top of the order and Ryan Harrell. But OKC, and it really, Liberal won the league last year, but, they were scheduled, I think, to play OKC. They really got a pass. They knew they were going to win the league. Didn't have to play the last weekend. I mean, I'm not going to say they backed into. They certainly earned where they got. Curveball in there for strike 1. And I'm sure the Liberal folks, they would have liked to play at OKC and just finish it off themselves. So Oklahoma City, not in our league this year, but they are playing everybody in our league and always on the road, unless someone wants to go to Oklahoma City. So real kudos to this team for, it's hard playing all road games, that's for sure. And they don't look like a bad team at all, in my opinion. Now, will they get voted back in the league? They hope to get back in the league next year. That's up to the heads of the league. Here's one in the turf. Mack unable to get a throw down there and a stolen base for Wright, so he ends up at second anyway. I think for the league, 8 teams is ideal. But if you have to worry whether a team's going to be able to hang in there for the whole season, that is not ideal. So we'll have to just wait and see. Here's one nub down the first base side. Maddox Solomon has it, tells his pitcher he's got it, and Maddox will take it himself and retire Harrell. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning. It's Oklahoma City 3, El Dorado 0. Jen Sargent's son, Brady, stepping in. And boy, Brady has been really just a fun guy I don't get to talk to him a lot, but got to see him after the Great Bend series or game here. And it was fun to visit with him for a little bit. Ideally, I'd love to be able to do player interviews and coach interviews, but I only have one output, so it really makes it difficult. And after the games, the players meet down in left field, and so not exactly how I'd like to do it, but Brady is down in the count here very quickly, 0-2. Brady, the leading hitter for El Dorado, a .377 batting average. It dropped 17 points after last night. He's down 0-2 here. The pitch, curveball in the turf, 1-2. Andrew Reitmeyer looking sharp early on for OKC. Sargent, Sorensen, and Coyne due up here for El Dorado in the bottom of the second inning. And a foul tip into the glove of Vernon for a strikeout. So 3 strikeouts already for Reitmeyer. Want to say hello and happy Independence Day to Paul and Tracy Zenzel in Royal Oak, Michigan. And appreciate the feedback, knowing that everything sounds okay on your end and looks okay. That is good to know. Like I said, I'm looking at the internet. Now, there's a lot of people here tonight. That may be why my feed here isn't very good, but my feed doesn't matter. I'm looking right at it. I just keep it up to keep the chat window going. Quickly down in the count here is Soren. No, it's 1-1. I beg your 1-1. 1-1. John Sorensen up there for El Dorado. Homered here last night. Slow curve, and that's fouled back. Strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joseph Chin. And first season watching Jayhawk League, and I appreciate the kind comments. I'd be curious what has brought you to watching Jays and watching all the streams and all the videos in our league. A lot of teams do broadcast. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Sorensen, the pitch. And that one's fouled straight back. Gary didn't get his glove up there. I was ready, but I would have had to reach over. That was coming straight back. We got Brennan White up here tonight. Rustin Hayes, our Williams Baptist gang. They're working the music tonight. Did Daniel Nelson just get kicked out or, wore out his welcome up here, I guess. Here's the 2-2, and that one's fouled well out in front of that one with Sorensen. I'd like to be the first to say welcome to El Dorado. These guys have been here about a week or so. Their first night in El Dorado, they got to experience tornado warning. They got to experience, I think, an earthquake. Who says Kansas is dull, flat, boring? I mean, we got a lot going on here. Sorensen with a 3-2 count here against Reitmeyer. Right-hander is Reitmeyer. Looks about 6'3", 6'4" out there. Again, I wish we don't even have a roster. Sorensen hits one out into right center field. Drifting back is Francis. He's under it, and he's got the catch for the second out. So a good battle up there by Sorensen, but eventually won by Reitmeyer. So here's Jarrett Coyne. Yeah, it's just weird not having a roster. I don't have hometowns, colleges. So Joseph Chin's son pitches for Oklahoma City. So that's why you're watching games in our league. Excellent. First pitch strike. Joseph, you may have to let us know if your son comes in to pitch, because outside of the 9 on the field, we have no clue of anyone else in the Oklahoma City roster. Reitmeyer is, boy, when he's missing, he is not missing by much. 1 ball and 1 strike. So, Joe, that's nice to know. Thank you for tuning in tonight, Joseph. Ball in the turf, 2-1. Joseph, new to our broadcast. I always tell all our listeners, I don't have a color commentator, so you fans, you parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, you're like my other voice. You're the ones I, visit with in between pitches. Baseball is a game unlike no other, where you can kind of conversate as the action's going on. Boy, that pitch didn't miss by much. Coyne will walk down to first base. Not a bad location by Reitmeyer. So a 2-out walk, and that'll bring up Aaron Mack. Those familiar with Bronco baseball will remember Aaron. He has played, 2 seasons, Gary, right? This is his third go-round here with El Dorado. And he's been one of those guys that is just really a good teammate, really comes to the park. He plays hard every night. When he gets hot with the lumber, he can be a very dangerous hitter. Certainly a good backstop for El Dorado. And you can never have too many. Again, when you're playing in this league all summer long, you can't go with one catcher. 2, sometimes 3 is really a good idea. 1 ball and no strikes. Now that one's in there for a strike. Reitmeyer throwing some balls. Again, they're not like he's missing his targets or just barely missing. He's been, I think, hitting the spot for the most part where he wants to go. 1 ball and 1 strike here on Mack. Throw over to first, and Coyne is back in safely. Turf infield, grass outfield here in El Dorado. The wind generally is out of the south, so it's blowing from right to left, and a pitch a little bit low to Mack. Coyne with a bluff down at first, but he stays put. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls and a strike. Pete Carvalho waits on deck for El Dorado. Oklahoma City leading 3-0. And the pitch, and right off the end of the bat for Mack, and drifting out the shortstop Wright goes back there. The center fielder, Francis, I think, wanted to take over, but Wright was right there, and so he makes the catch. And that will end the inning. So a 2-out walk is all that Reitmeyer gives up in the second. We head to the third inning. Our score: Oklahoma City 3, El Dorado 0. Three to 0, Oklahoma City. Boy, they sprinted out of the gates. A single, a double, and a 2-run homer. Since then, Reed Miller has settled in, giving up just a 2-out single. And a first pitch strike to Jared Birch. Birch playing left field. Open stance at the plate, right-handed batter, and that curveball, he ended up kind of getting his backside towards the El Dorado dugout and just kind of had to reach out and tap that one. So quickly 0-2. Reed Miller winds and deals, and spoiling that one is Birch. Avery Reed Miller, not a lot of wasted motion on the mound. You'll watch him. It almost looks like he's from the stretch. He gets right on the first base side of the mound, back almost to first base, one quick step up and delivers. And the curveball just missed, 1-2. Avery in his second or third season here with El Dorado. I can't remember. It's his second season. Control has really been something I've noticed marked improvement from Avery from this year, from last year. Two balls and two strikes. Birch, Anton, and Delgado, the scheduled three. Fastball drifts outside, and Birch has worked it full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch, swing, and a foul tip. This is one of those games, talk about it, it doesn't go against the league record for El Dorado, but this is your best crowd of the season. If you want a lot of these folks to come back, it's important to have a good showing, I think, tonight. These guys put their hearts and souls into this. A slow tapper to third. Sorensen has to come up and charge. Quick throw to first, and just did get Birch. That was a quick exchange by Sorensen. And one away, and here's Jared Anton. Big thanks. A lot of folks very complimentary about our broadcasts. Well, the folks to thank, really, Vicky Bell here for the El Dorado Broncos, and our good friends Brad Cool and El Dorado Building Systems Incorporated. Brad Cool offering 24 feet wide to modular spans of 240 feet. You will find a degree of versatility rare in today's metal building market. Eve heights from 10 feet to 30 feet. There's a pitch just missing, 2-0. All of El Dorado Building Systems Incorporated structures come standard with certified engineering and a selection of long life finishes for a building you can be proud of for generations to come. Here's a ball down the right field side, and that is a fair ball, and it's a hard hit single for Jarrett Anton, who homered his first time, and now a single. For more information, if you want any more info on the metal building market and the good folks at El Dorado Building Systems Incorporated, Brad Cool's number is 316-321-9528 locally. Or if you know what, a lot of folks watching from not here, 1-800-279-4300. If you'd also like to call Brad and say thanks for supporting Bronco baseball and our broadcasts of Bronco baseball, that would be okay too. Seth Delgado flew out to left field his first time. Curveball stays upstairs. Two balls, no strikes. The pitch, and that one's low, ball 3. Jared Anton over at first base, and Joseph Chin giving me some good info. This is the kind of stuff I usually get. He's from Huntington Beach, California. He plays at Fresno Pacific. 3-0 pitch, and swinging on 3-0. That's off the glove of Sorensen, and a fair ball as it rolls into foul territory, but only one base for each. Probably a single. Yeah, it was a rope by Delgado. Sorensen did get a glove on it, but boy, that was a tough play. Anton had to hold up. So 2 on, 1 out, and here's Ashton Francis. Left-handed batter. And he tries to go the other way, but fouls it off. Alicia White says Rustin and Brennan need to make sure they play good music, and sometimes they have bad words in there. So none of that. All right, good, Michelle. little change up in there is in there for a strike. Bad word. Alicia White says bad words in there. Keep it clean. All right. Good to have our new pitchers up here. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reed Miller at the belt. He takes a look in. Runners off first and second, and the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Out in front was Francis, and it's 1-2. Like I mentioned, don't get to do it. Or was that a strikeout? He struck him out. Was I behind a pitch? I was. Gary, you're supposed to smack me on those. I was behind. I apologize. Like I'm getting all these nice comments here, and then here I totally miss a strikeout. Now, it's not like a home run being called a strikeout, right? We had some fun with Gary last night. Talked about Gary's 33 years as Sarge is going to go out and talk to Reed Miller. It was a fun story, so I'll share it again. The 33 years of baseball, and Gary has been doing stats and is meticulous in his art form. And we had a home run on Sunday that, for whatever reason, he wrote the letter K, which those of you who have scored games know that means a strikeout. And that was on a home run. He pitched that sheet. He doesn't want to see it again. Threw it in the fireplace or something. Here's Mark Peterson. Looks at ball 1. It's just late last season and this season, Gary used to be on the other side of the press box with me, so we'd yell back and forth. Now it's nice. Gary sits right next to me here, so I got all the information. I got all the stats here. We can look at each other. Hit air. What do you say? Gary always has a final word, but I like to throw some input in there. Fun times. Can't beat it. 4th of July baseball, sunny weather, hot. This is just a great day. 2 balls and no strikes. And that pitch didn't look that bad. I think Mac, I should say, not Sergeant. Mac was crossed up a bit there, and he had to reach across his body. He was set up on the inner third. I don't think that missed by that much, but it looked worse than it was. 3 balls and no strikes. Right-handed batter here, Mark Peterson. The pitch. And that's in there for strike 1. The 3-1 pitch on its way, and that one is low, and the walk is issued. So we come to what you would say could be kind of a critical moment in this game. It's 3-0, Oklahoma City. There's 2 outs, but the bases are now loaded for the Indians. And here's A.J. Anatsiga. A hit scores probably 2, and you're looking at a 5-0, maybe even a 6-0 deficit. An out, and you're right there at 3-0. And the first pitch, and Anatsiga got a great cut, but he was just out in front. That has plenty of distance, way out of the yard, but way foul. That hit the middle of the roof of the building that you can't see on your video stream, right behind the El Dorado bullpen. Not a lot of balls land up there. Just a long strike if you're a Bronco fan. No balls, 1 strike. And the pitch from Reed Miller, he goes off speed and it misses 1-1. Do apologize for whatever reason. The first link I put up tonight, right when I started it, it said I lost connection. So then when that happened, I couldn't go and delete that. And so that's why it says part 2. This whole game has been part 2. Here's the 1-1 swing and a miss. And Reed Miller is a pitch away from getting out of a real mess. Birch grounded out. Anton singled. Delgado singled. Francis struck out. Peterson walked. Bases loaded of Oklahoma City Indians. A.J. Anatsiga, who struck out his first time. And the pitch. And whistled into left field, a base hit. Anstandig coming in. Quickly fires. Hits the cutoff man Sorensen. The throw home, not in time. Not as quick of an exchange by Sorensen there. He didn't have his body ready to catch and throw. He caught it and then spun and then threw. And that allowed the run to score. So a big 2-out knock by Anatsiga. Inatsugu. Suyu. Inatsuyu. I had a roll with Inatsuga. That was rolling off like an Italian or something. All right. Our PA, Michelle, always has to spoil the fun here for me. I'll try to do it better. Inatsugu. Big hit by him nonetheless. There's a first pitch foul ball by Jake Vernon. I refer to last night's game. It was 4-0 with 2 outs, and Urquidy for Derby was able to get a knockout into left field that scored 2, and all of a sudden it's 6-0, and it seemed to kind of deflate El Dorado. They did come back with a couple of runs, but lost 6-2. That was a big hit there by Inatsugu. And getting into one is Vernon out into center field. He just missed the barrel. It's Anstandig coming over from left field to make the catch, and that will retire the side. But 2 more across for OKC. We head to the bottom of the third inning. Our score, Indians 5, Broncos 0. So bottom of the third inning time, and the Indians have gone through their order almost twice. Their number 9 batter is the only Indian who hasn't come to the plate twice. The Broncos will finally turn the order for the first time in this inning. And a bunt attempt by Pete Carvalho. Fouled off. Fun to meet Pete's mom and dad from Michigan. Pete from Alma College in Michigan. Along with Dylan Zenzel. Mentioned the email I got from the Zenzels. There's a strike. And quickly down in the count is Carvalho, 0-2. The pitch bounces in there of 1-2. Hello to Donna Hershey, Donna and Bert, Grandma and Grandpa, are watching and listening from Waterford, Michigan. They're going to be here Sunday. That's a big game for the Broncos, a big weekend series with the Hayes Larks, and I do look forward to chatting with you guys as well in person. Here's one behind the third base, coming in the left fielder. Almost overran it, but a nice catch out there by Jared Birch. And thank you, Donna. Glad to know everything sounds okay on your end, too. Good to know. Thank you for the email. My email address, Caden Broadcasting, CADEN, Caden Broadcasting at gmail.com. So with one away, here's Jordan Anstandig. Jordan's parents told me last week via email that Jordan brought the wrong contacts here, and he was going to start hitting it better. Well, what we saw last night, he saw it really well. He was swinging the bat very nicely. Here's one rolled over to first base, And Delgado's got it. He'll take it himself for the second out. So 2 away. Joseph Chin getting me, really just email or chatting me the roster, and I appreciate it. I don't really have anywhere to write all that stuff down. I've got a little sheet here. I'm starting to write that stuff down. So Joseph, thank you for researching all the info here. Caleb Littlejim struck out looking his first time. Boy, this Andrew Reitmeyer. Do we know, Joseph, where Andrew is from? Because he is throwing darts out there right now for the Oklahoma City Indians. He operates out of the stretch. And he operates quickly. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch a little bit low, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. 5-0 Oklahoma City. And Little Jim hits one out into center field, and coming in and making the catch is Francis, and 3 up, 3 down for El Dorado in the bottom of the third. We go to the 4th inning, and Oklahoma City leads 5-0. Top of the 4th inning, 9-1-2 scheduled here for the Oklahoma City Indians. First time these teams are playing this season. They'll play 2 tomorrow and then 3 more games, July 13th, 14th, and 15th. Reed Miller winds and deals, and this one's fouled off of right and quickly 0-2. We really have 2 starters tonight that do not hesitate on the hill. Oh, and 2 to right, who singled and stole a base for OKC in the 2nd inning. The pitch, and he had a notion laid off, 1-2. One and one. 2-1. This one's bounced to third with the glove is Sorensen over to first, and hustling is right. Boy, I love to see that. He was getting down the line. He's out by a step. It goes as a 5-3 in my scorebook, but that's the kind of effort you just love seeing. Ryan Harrell steps in for his 3rd at bat here in the 4th inning. A single and a ground out for Harrell. And he bounces one fouled on the third base side. Ryan Harrell, the designated hitter for Oklahoma City. And he squares around early, bunts it down the third base line. Sorensen coming in, throw to first, close and safe. So an infield bunt single for Harrell. Close play at first, but it looked like the foot just got there. And the umpire was right on it. That'll bring up Jared Birch. Jared Birch is from Houston, Texas. He plays for the Baylor Bears. Big 12. For El Dorado, of course, Caleb Littlejim at shortstop goes to Kansas State. So we've got some Big 12 representation here tonight. Birch, a RBI double in the first inning, grounded out to third in the third. Jarrett Anton waiting on deck for OKC. They've got the blue tops, white pants, red stripe, and running, and a hit and run fouled off. So 2 balls and a strike. Good hit and run count there, 2-0. I know there's some things with OKC. I mean, I wish we had a roster, wish we had stats. But just by looking on the field, how they play the game, they play it the right way. Reaching out and hitting into foul territory, Birch. Solomon has room and makes the catch for the second out. That'll bring up Anton. Jared Anton from Huntington Beach, California. He goes to school at Fresno Pacific. Thanking Joseph Chin for getting all this great info for me. Anton, all he's done is hit a 2-run homer and singled and scored. 2 runs scored, 2 runs driven in, 2 for 2. He's gone to right field his first 2 times up. That foul ball sprayed the other way into the El Dorado dugout, or into the El Dorado bullpen. No balls and a strike. Running. Here's a ball hit out into center field. And coming in is Carvala. He's got it. And that will retire Anton for the first time tonight. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left. Bottom of the 4th inning coming up, 5-0 Oklahoma City. Maddox Solomon will try to get things started here for El Dorado. First time through, Andrew Reitmeyer has been dominating. All he's allowed is 1 walk to Jarrett Coyne. First pitch to Solomon, and he starts him off with a curve and a swing and a miss, strike 1. Reitmeyer, don't know where he plays, but he's from Carlsbad, California. The 0-1, high, 1-1. Bobby Shore is the manager for Oklahoma City, and he's from Oceanside, California, and he coaches at Palomar College. I have not heard of that one. Fastball in there, strike 2. One ball and 2 strikes. Solomon, Sheets, and Sargent. The 1-2 and fouled off. Caught some of the mask of the catcher, Vernon. So the umpire will walk out, give the ball to the pitcher, and give Vernon a few moments to gather himself, but he seems to be okay. I know a lot of catchers do it, but it was fun when Vernon came out in the bottom of the first inning, immediately shook the umpire's hand. And always a nice gesture. Those catchers and umpires always have a close relationship. Here's the 1-2, tapped foul. Bounces foul and over the umpire's head. Reitmeyer plays at Palomar College. Thank you, Joseph. You ever heard of Palomar College? And what level is, Joseph, do you know, is that a NAI? I don't think it's an NAIA school. I know most of those. Might be a Division III. I don't know. Solomon waits on that curve, hits it to third in the hole. Peterson, long throw is over the first baseman's head. And a good job of hustling. That'll be an error. It's a long throw, but Peterson had a chance to set and throw, and he sailed it. And with El Dorado with no hits, you like to see that first hit to be a legitimate hit, too. Talk about the dimensions here at Oklahoma City or in El Dorado. Usually any ball over the first baseman's head is going to be extra bases, but a great job of backing up the catcher. Now remember, folks, it feels almost down on the field, I'm sure it feels like 100 degrees. Catcher in all his gear sprinting down the line, and Vernon was there to back it up and keep Solomon there at first base. Sheets looks at strike 1. Tanner, a strikeout victim, is for his first time, and that one in there for strike 2. Reitmeyer is all over the zone. It's Palomar College is a junior college in Oceanside. I think that says Oceanside, California. I'm familiar. That one in the turf 1 and 2. Familiar with all the junior colleges in Kansas, a lot of them in Oklahoma and Texas, but my California knowledge, not the best. 1 and 2 here to Sheets. And Sheets off the end of the bat, it'll stay fouled. Got past Delgado over at first and goes harmlessly foul. So we'll do a 1-2 again. Tanner Sheets from Sugar Land, Texas, 5'10", 190. Sheets coming into play tonight, a .326 hitter. The team batting average took a little bit of a hit last night, dropped 6 points to 277. 5-0 Oklahoma City here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The pitch, slow curve, fouled out of play. Of course, the citywide fireworks show is here at McDonald's Stadium following the game. The post-game, as customary on the 4th of July, will be brief because I've got an hour drive back home. I got to get out and beat the traffic. 1 and 2. And Sheets fooled on the curve and a swing and a miss. That'll bring up the Sarge. He's DHing tonight, struck out his first time. Reitmeyer got out in front 0-2 quickly on Sargent his first time. Brady Sargent, 26 hits in 69 at-bats for El Dorado. And he looks at ball one. Of his 26 hits, 6 have gone for doubles, 2 have been triples, and 4 out of the yard. And a swing and a miss by the Sarge. Palomar College is actually in San Marcos, California, which is just north of San Diego. If I were to do it again and go to school, I think I would go north of San Diego. That sounds like a good place to go to school. A swing and a miss, strike 2. Anytime I watch Padres games, the weather just looks ideal. 1-2 here to Brady Sargent. And he's able to hang in there with a foul ball. Oklahoma City scored 3 in the first. In fact, the first 3 batters came around to score, then 2 more in the third. We're in the bottom of the fourth, 5-0 OKC. And the pitch and a brilliant curveball. Sargent swings and misses. 5 strikeouts so far for Reitmeyer. Here's John Sorensen. Flew out to center his first time. First pitch close, but missing, 1-0. The home run by Sorensen last night, you could have had your eyes closed, and just by the sound of the bat on the ball, you would have been pretty accurate knowing that was going way out of the McDonald's Stadium. A little closer to the corner, and that's in there for strike 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Reitmeyer's got a good rhythm going right now. Fastball in there, strike 2. Solomon over at first, reached on an error. 1-2 to Sorensen. The pitch. And Sorensen drills one out to right field, but I think he just missed it. Yep, to the track and caught by Inatsugu. So a leadoff error leads to nothing. We head to the 5th inning. OKC 5, El Dorado 0. Seth Delgado leading off, first pitch swinging out to Little Jim right under his glove. That'll be an error on Little Jim and a leadoff error for Oklahoma City. He was expecting a bounce on the turf and it didn't come. It rolled right under his mitt. Appreciate the email from Barb Vernon. And she says the Indians do have a website with their roster listed, so I'm searching for that right now. Jake Vernon's mom, Barb Vernon, watching from Elkhart, Indiana. Hello, Barb. Thanks for the email. Oh, is it? And here's one hit off the handles into right field, hooking foul. Ashton Francis. And a whole bunch of fireworks going off. We'll hear those throughout the night before the big show here at McDonald Stadium. Here's a ball and a strike to Francis. Running on the play. Another hit and run here from Oklahoma City and fouled off. Francis is 0 for 2 tonight. Flew out to center and struck out. I'm looking for the roster on here, and I don't find a link that says roster. Trying to do that and watch the game here. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. That one dives inside, 2-2. Ball and 2 strikes to Francis. Mark Peterson waits on deck. Running on the play, and here's one hit out into left center field. That is going to split the outfielders. Delgado on his way to third. He will score, and heading for third. The throw is going to be offline, and it'll be a triple for Francis. An RBI triple. And the Indians lead 6-0. Here's Mark Peterson, 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. And got under this one, popped it up on the infield. Solomon comes in to call everyone off and makes the catch. And the first out of the inning. Here's AJ Anatsugu. One for 2, 2 runs driven in for AJ tonight. He's from Los Angeles. Reed Miller set. Over at third is Francis, and inside fastball, ball 1. One ball and no strikes. We're in the top of the 5th. 6-0 OKC. A swing and a miss. Strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. And this one's hit out to Little Jim. He's got it on a couple of hops over to first. That'll drive in a run. Francis comes in to score on the ground out on the infield, and it is 7-0 Oklahoma City. The Liberal BJs playing Dodge City tonight, and after 4 complete, Liberal leads 2-0. And curveball, and that caught Jake Vernon. I don't know if it hit him on the hand or the hip there, but he'll walk down to first base, a hit by pitch. So here's Drew Wright coming up. Drew Wright is 1 for 2. First pitch high, 1-0. (7-0) OKC. Vernon at first, and right. Puts a charge in one, hit it hard, but right at Jordan Anstandig in left field. 2 more runs across for OKC in the 5th. We're halfway through. Indians 7, Broncos 0. So bottom of the 5th inning here. Nice to have you tuned in tonight. A lot of folks watching here on our YouTube broadcast. All of these games also are archived. I'm not sure at what point of the night, or I know the next day when I go look, they're always downloaded. Coyne hits one out in the left field and a clean base hit, the first one of the night for El Dorado. Jarrett's mom, dad, brother here from Michigan. Could hear them cheering louder than anyone on that hit. Here's Aaron Mack. El Dorado got their leadoff batter on in the 5th, or in the 4th, I should say, but then Reitmeyer routinely got knocked down the next 3. Coyne with a leadoff single to start the bottom of the 5th inning and a first pitch ball to Aaron Mack. Aaron Mack, just 4 at-bats so far in the summer. He's hitting .250. Throw to first, and Coyne is back in. Not a lot more room here in the inn. It is a full house at McDonald Stadium. But you know the players have to love seeing this kind of crowd here tonight. Long homestand for El Dorado. Home last night, tonight, 2 tomorrow. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Hayes Larks are here. There's a pitch in there for a strike, 2-1. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Liberal is in town. Day off Thursday, and then Oklahoma City's back in. The 2-1, and hit out into right field. A base hit for Aaron Mack. Coyne running to second, looking out in right field, and then a little bit of a bobble there by Inatsugu, but not enough for Coyne to go first to third. But the first 2 are on board for El Dorado. Pete Carvalho up there. He flew out to left field his first time. And the pitch, Carvalho fouls it off. .246 hitter is Carvalho. 14 for 57. He's got a double and a triple on the summer. And up the middle, base hit for Carvalho. Coin around third, and he'll be held up there. The throw comes to first base. 3 straight singles. El Dorado hadn't had a hit coming into this inning, and the first 3 reach via the base hit. And Toby Reuter over at third. You're down 7-0. You don't really want to risk getting someone thrown out at the plate when you have something brewing here. Maybe if there's 2 outs there, he might have sent Jarrett Coyne. But with nobody out, they'll play it safe. 7-0 Oklahoma City. Here's Jordan Anstandig. Grounded out to first his first time. And he looks high, ball 1. So the first rough water of the night for Andrew Reitmeyer. He has cruised through the first 4. The 1-0. And that one dives low, 2-0. So now Jordan Anstandig holding all the cards. Jordan, a .217 hitter. Had a couple of hits here last night. Here's the 2-0. Fastball just missed, 3-0. Bobby Shore, the manager for OKC, coaches Reitmeyer in college, so he knows what he can and can't do and how long he can go with him. Here's the 3-0, and that one missed. A 4-pitch walk to Anstandig. And El Dorado's on the scoreboard. And Bobby Shore will walk out to visit with Andrew Reitmeyer. It's 7-1 Oklahoma City. Saturday is going to be Veterans Night here at the yard. Sometimes they do it on the 4th of July, but being on Wednesday, they're going to wait to do that Saturday, which is really a neat event here at the McDonald Stadium. El Dorado Bronco organization makes sure to recognize their veterans every summer. And generally the veterans, they walk out and they're all out on, they usually stretch from third to first base out on the diamond. And when they walk off, usually the Bronco team will come over and get some handshakes. The visiting team will get some handshakes. It's really a special night. Look forward to that Saturday night. Last night I'd said that there might be festivities tonight before the game. I was mistaken. It's Saturday. So with the bases loaded and nobody out, here's Caleb Littlejim. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And the first pitch, and that one's in there for strike 1. So Reitmeyer got a few moments to gather himself, and he starts off Littlejim with a strike 1. And the pitch, and setting up on the outside, and hit the corner, 0-2. And now Vernon wants to come out and talk to Reitmeyer. Caleb Littlejim, a .340 hitter for El Dorado. 16 hits, 47 at-bats. Caleb was injured for the early part of the season, but since coming back from injury, he's been the regular shortstop for El Dorado. Out of Kansas State University. He's down 0-2 here on this count. The pitch, and that hit him. A big break for El Dorado. 0-2 pitch hits Littlejim. That'll be an RBI, won't it? Any way you can get him if you're a Bronco fan. So 7-2 our score, and here's Maddox Solomon, the leading RBI guy for El Dorado. He's 0 for 2, reached on an error his last time. The first pitch from Reitmeyer, and Solomon a little bit behind. He fouls it off. Reitmeyer's curve has been so good tonight. The fastball has almost snuck up on some of the Bronco hitters. That one did. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Solomon. Curveball hit right at the third baseman. A dive back to third and safe. Oh, a close play. Almost a double play. Solomon hit it hard, but a nice grab by Peterson. And then it was a race. Carvalho and Peterson back to third. And Bobby Shore wants to come out there. The umpire had a good look at it. It was close. There's no doubt. Of course, Bobby Shore would have loved a double play there. Yeah, it looked like the hand of Carvalho just did get in there. And now, well, Bobby's at least gotten the umpires to talk about that play. I don't think the home plate umpire, he wouldn't have had nearly as good of a look. But this has to make Bronco fans a little bit nervous. The umpires are talking. It was bang, bang. But from our angle, he looked like he got there. And the umpires, I guess if you're Oklahoma City, you're glad that the umpires at least got together and talked. But I don't know in that situation if the home plate umpire is going to have as good of a look. But there's no harm in coming in and saying, hey, did you see that differently? So one away, and Tanner Sheets up there for El Dorado. And a balk is called. I did not see what Reitmeyer did there, and Bobby Shore wants an explanation here, but another freebie for El Dorado. Carvalho scores on a balk. So runners at second and third, 7-3. First three reached on singles, and then a walk to Anstandig scored one. Little Jim was hit by a pitch to score one, and now a balk to score one. And squaring is Sheets, a safety squeeze. That'll score a run, and Sheets is out at first. Do you call that a sacrifice? So an RBI for Sheets. Little Jim moves over to third. Anstandig scores. And here's Brady Sargent. 2 away and a runner at third. 7-4, Oklahoma City. And Sargent rolls it over to third. Peterson's got it on a couple of hops. Good, strong strike over to first. And Sargent is retired. El Dorado scores 4 times on 3 hits. And after 5 complete, Oklahoma City 7, El Dorado 4. And welcome back. First pitch swinging is Harrell, and a terrific play made by Caleb Littlejim at shortstop to throw him out. So one away, and here's Jared Birch. New pitcher for El Dorado is Matt Bowes out of Cisco Junior College. He's from Tomball, Texas. 6'1", 180, a righty. And lining a single into center field is Jared Birch. Gary says first appearance here for Bowes for El Dorado. Oh, really? A young one, fresh out of high school. So we got Harrell on a good defensive play by Littlejim. Birch with a sharp single, and here's Jarrett Anton. Anton homered in the first inning, singled in the third. He's 2 for 3. In the turf, Mack able to keep it in front and keep Birch over at first base. Seven 4 Oklahoma City, top of the 6th inning. And the pitch bounced foul on the first base side. Mary Kay Milky cheering on Jarrett Coyne up in Standish, Michigan. Pitch fouled. Oklahoma City is hit and run more than any team I've seen this year. Good aggressive baseball. 1-2. Anton flew out to center his last time up. And the pitch from Bowes, a swing and a miss. First base was occupied. Running down to first is Anton. And Anton is out, but moving to second is Birch, probably a wild pitch. So a strikeout of Anton. 2 away, and Seth Delgado coming up. Email address is cadenbroadcasting@gmail.com. You can also, if you're watching, just chat at me on the video stream. Lights have come on. The field is in the shade now. Bowes high, ball 1. For Avery Reedmiller, 5 innings of work. He gave up 9 hits, 7 runs. Had 2 strikeouts, walked 1, and hit 1. One and 0 to Delgado. He's 1 for 3 tonight. He scored 2 runs. Swing over the top of that pitch, and it's 1-1. Big thanks to our friends at El Dorado Building Systems Incorporated for their sponsorship of our broadcasts. Brad Cool, 1-800-279-4300 if you want more information about the metal building expertise. Delgado fouls this one. Hit off his arm after he fouled it. American flag on the scoreboard here at McDonald Stadium, Brad Long Field. The wind's out of the south. Flag looking majestic out there on a beautiful July 4th evening. Delgado looking at strike 3 on the inside corner. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-4, Oklahoma City. Welcome back here to Brad Long Field, McDonald Stadium, El Dorado, Kansas. New pitcher for Oklahoma City, and this is what we were dreading because we don't have a roster, and I can't find, I'm on the Oklahoma City website, and I can't find a roster. This is number 29. He's a left-hander. Maybe we can get some help from our Oklahoma City friends who are watching. He's a left-handed pitcher and nearly hit John Sorensen on the first pitch. Comes back in the zone and a foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Indians. 4 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for El Dorado. And the 1-1 is low, 2-1. Number 29 is Hayden Salverda. Salverda. And a swing and a miss. Challenge fastball, and Sorensen missed. Strike 2. Thank you to the Salverda boys who are watching tonight. Hayden Salverda, 2-2. And just missed on the 2-2. It's 3-2. Reitmeyer was really good through 4. Struggled a bit in the 5th, and he exits after the 5th. He can only win it. Lefty on lefty battle. The 3-2 is high. Ball 4. Leadoff walk for John Sorensen. That'll bring up Jarrett Coyne. He's 1 for 1 with a run scored and a walk tonight. So 5 innings for Reitmeyer. He struck out 5, gave up 3 hits. And that pitch nearly got away. Great play by Vernon behind the dish. 1 walk, 1 hit by pitch. And 4 runs given up by Reitmeyer. In the zone for a 1-1 count. Hayden plays at the University of Colorado Springs, UCCS. It's good info, thank you. He's from Poway, California. And low, 2-1. There are a lot of Californians on the Oklahoma City squad. And Oklahoma City sends a couple more guys down to the bullpen. 2 balls and a strike to Jarrett Coyne out of Alma College. And Coyne flips this one foul. Jarrett Coyne has been hit 6 times this year for El Dorado. He's batting .239. Played last year. He's one of those guys you can stick anywhere on the field, and he will give it his all. He's been in right field the last 2 nights. Coyne with a good eye, 3-2. The second baseman, Anton, really playing close to the bag at second. And Delgado holding the runner on at first. So a pretty good hole on the right side if Coyne could hit it. Here's the 3-2 and fouled off. It's got to be fun for these Bronco players. Parents, it's parents' weekend, but I'll tell you what, a lot of the parents figuring if there's games Tuesday, Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, all weekend, we're coming early. So parents' weekend, we'll call it Parents' Weekend Plus because there's a lot of parents here. It's got to be fun for these guys to see mom and dad again. The 3-2, Coyne rolls it to short and over to second for 1, back to first, double play. Taylor made, it's right to Anton to Delgado. So 2 away, and here's Aaron Mack. Seven to 4 in favor of Oklahoma City. The Broncos been playing from behind last night and tonight. Last night fell behind 6-0. Tonight fell behind 7-0. A 4 spot in the 5th as Made it a tad more interesting, though. 7-4 our score and a 1-0 count here to Aaron Mack. Mack 1 for 2 with a run scored. He singled his last time. That was against Reitmeyer. This one bounces well in front of the plate, 2-0. Looks like a right-hander, number 5. For those of you that know this OKC team, number 5 is warming up. So if you happen to know his name, we wouldn't mind having it because I imagine at some point we'll be seeing him. Doubleheader here tomorrow night. We will start our stream right around 5:40. Play-by-play at 6 o'clock. 2 7-inning games tomorrow. And those of you new to our broadcast here on YouTube, you can't have any copyrighted music that goes over the airwaves. That's why we go silent in between innings and don't start any audio until the game starts because there's music playing in the stadium. A 3-0 count here to Aaron Mack with the bases empty. The pitch, and that's right down the middle for strike 1. Three balls and a strike to Mack. And a little bit low and a walk. And that'll bring up Pete Carvalho. Pete singled. He was the one that scored on the balk by Reitmeyer. Number 15, center fielder, Pete Carvalho. And the first pitch to Carvalho, just a little bit in, 1-0. A walk, a double play, and a walk for El Dorado here in the 6th. Aaron Mack, a conservative lead over at first, and the pitch to Carvalho fouled out of play. Harrison Moy from Honolulu warming up for Oklahoma City. Thank you, Joseph Chin. Here's the 1-1, high, ball 2. Jordan Anstandig waits on deck for El Dorado. El Dorado is 12-10 in Jayhawk play. And they'll resume Jayhawk games Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 6 pretty important games for El Dorado. You might remember a couple weeks ago, El Dorado was 3-7, playing a 3-7 Hayesville team, and we knew 7 of the next 8 were against teams that were even or below El Dorado. Figured that was the time they needed to get hot, and they did just that. Carvalho out into center field. Francis has a beat on it and makes the catch for the 3rd out. A couple of walks, but no damage done. We go to the 7th inning, 7-4 Indians.